Okay, I've been told to stay seated. Thank you very much for that introduction, and thanks for inviting me to present to you all. I want to talk about experiences we've had with BKT on some nice projects in London, to give you an idea of feedback from the tenants, from the developers, and from myself as REHAU. So the first building project that we dealt with in the UK was the Tate Modern. And this is a very iconic building. It's a very world-famous art gallery based on the River Thames, linked to the Cathedral St. Paul's by the Millennium Bridge. What you can
Closer microphone.
Oh, sorry. What you can see here is the new building on the left, and the old building is on the right. And the new building is very futuristic and was built to be very sustainable and a very comfortable place for visitors to come and see art. But even though it is modern, the outside has got bricks to reflect the old Tate Modern. And you can see the old Tate Modern is very square. Originally, the Tate Modern was a sugar refinery, and it was Tate and Lyle was a sugar refining company, and they still exist in the UK now. But they donated it to the UK, and it became an art gallery. So here you can see on the top right the building, and you can see there are viewing galleries all the way up, so you get fantastic views of London out of this building. And to the left you can see some quite big apartments, and there has been problems because of this. When you're in the viewing gallery, you can see directly into these apartments, and the people who have bought these apartments have spent between £1 and £3 million, so they weren't very happy. So a little bit of litigation, but eventually that area has been cordoned off. The people in the apartment are happy. But a bit more about the Tate Modern and its the BKT. So these are the people that we dealt with. The Tate Modern is an organisation. They were our client, and these are the engineers, the main contractors, etc. And all of these jobs that we deal with, we have to talk to all of these people. To have a successful completion of a project, you need to coordinate very closely together. So what was different about this for us was it was off-site and precast concrete planks. And here you can see at the Byrne Brothers off-site factory the different stages of creating these precast slabs. And the picture at the bottom right is where they're completed, and you can see they're all different. And this is because of the design of the Tate Modern. It's not a nice square building, it's very geometrical and odd. And in the middle I've just shown you a few examples of some of the different slab variants, but in the end we had to do over 100 different variants, so it was quite a complicated job. However, when it went to site, it's very much like putting a jigsaw together, and luckily they all went together well, and it was a successful implementation. So the second well, this is the biggest job we did, but it really put BKT on the map in London. It became a very big thing, talked about by many consultants, developers, etc. And it's based in London, in Old Street, in the heart of the sort of part of the tech city in London. And they wanted to build it there because that's the tenants, that's who they wanted to get into their building people of high tech who were interested in green buildings and innovative technologies. So here you can see it's quite a big project, 17,000 square meters, 16 floors, mainly offices. The ground floor you can see a nice big atrium, and it has a cafe open to the public. And the key person that in this project was Derwent, who was the developer and the builder. Now Derwent build and also maintain all of their buildings. So we had a very good relationship with them, and we worked with the architect, the installer, the main contractor, etc., and the structural engineer, of course. What they were looking for in this project was quite an industrial look. So you can see the bottom picture is where their tenants were, and you can see all the air handling, the lights and the sprinklers all coming off the ceiling. So quite a busy soffit, a busy ceiling. And this is just a few extra pictures. The bottom left hand, this is a prototype that Derwent built a year before they started construction. And though they wanted to use BKT and many other new technologies, what they wanted to do is test it first. So they built this to test all the technologies, and obviously BKT was fine and it went ahead. But developers want to have concerns. Does it work? How will the tenants like it, etc. Another thing you can see here is, instead of using just manifolds, we used things called commissioning sets, which I think are unique to the UK. And the reason for this is you could put these commissioning sets actually in the slab, which is a reinforced slab in this case, and therefore you save space in risers and other areas. So it frees up space for other facilities, other services, and you can get access via these. Okay, so the third one is the Featherstone Building, and this is the second job that we did with Derwent. So Derwent were very happy with White Collar Factory. They had a totally different set of people on the second job, but it's a very different looking building, and it harks back to there is quite a lot of Victorian buildings within this space near Featherstone, and they are Victorian warehouses. So they were trying to do a modern version of a Victorian warehouse. This building is sort of on a number of levels. There's 3 sort of buildings all connected, but one tall one and then slowly going down. And what they wanted to do was make sure that they innovated on from White Collar Factory. So they reduced a lot of the waste, labour, etc., by going off-site. And as you can see, it got BREEAM Outstanding. It's a very innovative building, and it also they changed. As you saw, at White Collar Factory, it had all the air handling on the ceiling. This was then removed. They wanted a clean soffit, very plain ceiling, and instead they had in the floor they had an air plenum to deal with all this. And here you can see on the left we were talking about commissioning boxes. This is them being installed prior to the concrete being poured. And the final one is 𝐅𝐸𝐴D City. This building isn't as interesting as the others, but it is an interesting construction, because it's a slightly different slab, and the slab is actually a PT slab. Now, the reason this is interesting is a PT slab is concrete, but it's a lot thinner slab, and you have tendons running through the concrete, and this allows you to have a thinner slab because the tendons, when they're tensioned, increase the strength of the thinner slab. But what does it benefit? The benefit is you have less concrete, you have less carbon, and the building has better accreditation. And it's a very big thing now in the UK to lower carbon. And in this job, not only did they do a PT slab, they also looked at something called a bubble deck, where they're using balls that are at a certain height within the slab, and it's basically taking the place of the concrete and thus reducing the carbon further. And one of the things that I'm dealing with new jobs, and we have many jobs at early stages, is clients are looking continually to reduce carbon, and tabs is a fantastic way to do this. Getting rid of suspended ceilings with all the aluminium, etc. Using tabs, you can really reduce carbon. You can use air source heat pumps or ground source heat pumps. So it's very, very energy efficient. And going forward, we're looking at combined concrete and laminated timber as replacing steel, and therefore reducing carbon further. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Ak máte otázky, využite slajdo na nášho prvého prednášateľa, pána Chownsmitha. Before somebody will ask through the slide, I maybe would like to ask, what's the trend of application of tabs in United Kingdom? What's the trend?
What's the
trend? Is growing up?
Yes. So what I would say is, when the Tate Modern was done, there was probably 1 or 2 in the whole of the UK, and in the last 5-6 years, REHAU are doing 2 or 3 a year, and you know, have 20 projects now on the go, and we have many inquiries as well. So yes, it's definitely a trend up. Many consultants, many developers are talking to us.
Okay. There is no any question through the slide, so once more, thank you very much.
No problem.